Hello, and welcome to another edition of Grizz Talk. I'm Dave Pemberton from the Oakland Press. I'm joined with Eric Kangas, shooting guard for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. And Eric, I just want to thank you for joining me.
No problem.
I have a first question for you. Is last year you came into the season with some really high expectations for this season, yet you broke your collarbone in the first game of the season. And it took you a while to get back healthy. I think you were maybe at the end of the year back to 100%. Just what did you learn from going through that whole injury last year?
Well, first of all, that injury, it was pretty detrimental at first. I was really anxious to get back. I think honestly I might have came back a little too soon. And throughout the year I was just a little hesitant to go for balls or get bumped over there. So I just learned it's a lot better to be healthy, and now that I am, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, you got to be anxious to get through a whole season where you're completely healthy.
Yeah.
Just is that kind of motivated you over the off season too, and things like that?
Well, I guess a little bit. All the time when you're healthy, if you're at 100%, you're going to be able to play to your maximum efficiency. So I'm pretty excited about it.
And there's been some talk about the new three-point line. Just as a shooter, what kind of impact do you think that's going to have on the game?
I think it might take some of the percentages down a little bit for the guys who thought they could shoot them a little bit last year. Now probably won't be able to shoot them, and I think for the natural shooters, myself, Blake, people like that, it's not really going to affect their games too much. So.
Okay. And just can you kind of talk about the potential of this team? What do you think this team is going to be able to accomplish this season?
I think the sky's the limit, pretty much. I think Sweet 16 is definitely not out of the question. We got all 5 starters back and a good recruiting class. We got a lot of depth. So I think the whole thing is we're going to be able to score some points, but if we can buckle down on defense, get stops, we go as far as we want.
I know you've been looking forward to this part of the routine. We're going to do some word association. The first one's going to be Oral Roberts.
Hatred.
North Dakota State.
Great offense.
Allen Iverson.
Excitement.
Detroit Lions.
Terrible.
This is a special one just for you. Batman.
My hero.
Jonathan Jones.
Best point guard in the Summer League.
Dan Waterstrap.
Hard worker.
Will Hudson.
Wisconsin cheese.
Ricky Bezeski.
Storyteller.
And Coach Camping.
Good guy once you get to know him.
Once you get to know him. All right, Eric, that's it. I know you work primarily with the post players. What should we expect this season from Keith Benson and Will Hudson and guys like that?
Well, I think the thing that is most important out of those guys is more consistency. I thought last year they showed signs of being really good, but they're really inconsistent throughout the year. And I think now with a year of experience, I think they're going to be a lot more consistent in their play. When Keith first came to the program, we weren't sure exactly how much he would play at the Division I level, and he's worked his way into being a really good player and a starter for us. And it's kind of the same with Will. We didn't know exactly what we had when Will got here, and he just continued to get better and improve and showed signs of being a really dominant player. And I think both those guys are going to be keys for us this year. But with us, we're a perimeter-oriented team. We've got 3 of the best guards in the league, so we need them to defend and rebound every single night, and whatever scoring they give us is a bonus. But I think both guys are very capable of putting points on the board.
And there's kind of been a lot of talk about the new recruiting class, kind of from a coaching perspective. Who in that class has maybe stood up to you over the first few weeks of practice?
I think with the 5 freshmen and with Larry Wright as a transfer, I think it's a unique class because a lot of times with recruiting classes you don't know exactly who's going to play and things like that, but I think all those guys are going to contribute major minutes here during their careers at Oakland. But I think that the biggest surprise, to be honest with you, has been Jay Thames. He's We didn't, we thought Jay was going to be a good player, but he's really done some good things, and I think has a really bright future here for us. But Drew Maynard and Blake Cushenberry have kind of set themselves apart as being guys that are going to get some major minutes for us this year. And Ilya and Matt are guys that I think are going to really help us as well. So it's hard to single out a certain player because they all bring so much to the table, and our practices are so much more competitive now by having those guys here. And I think, I don't mean it to be an answer that you just want to hear, but I really think all those guys are going to be able to give us significant time throughout their careers, some sooner than later. But I think it's a real special class.
Might need the recruiting class to come up big when you guys got this 9 games in a row on the road. Kind of just as an assistant coach, what is your role when you're on a big road trip like this? I mean, you got to kind of watch the team and make sure they stay motivated, stay focused. Just kind of what is it like for you? I mean, have you ever experienced anything like that?
I've experienced a lot of road trips, but I don't know if I've ever experienced 9 in a row. But it's something that we just need to make sure we take a business approach, and we're on a business trip, and those are the places we're going. It'll be a lot of fun to visit, but they can visit those when their careers are done. And right now we got to focus on what we need to do to compete and play well in those games. And I think the guys are really focused right now, and our returners have done a great job of leading our team. And I think they know how important it is to go out and keep that approach on the road. But our role will mainly be to be prepared with our scouting reports and make sure we're ready for the next game. And obviously keep an eye on the guys as well. But this is a good group. We don't have any worries about that. We know they're there for a reason, and we feel really good about this team. And they're guys that represent Oakland very well, and we don't have any problems taking them on the road. So it'll be a long trip, but hopefully it'll be a successful and fun one too.
Okay. And so they're with the players, so I'm going to maybe do it with you. I'm just going to give you a word or like a phrase, and you just give me the first thing that pops in your head, or the first phrase or word. I'm going to start, the first one's going to be the Detroit Lions. What did you do?
You're putting me on the spot there right from the start. So it's hard to think of one word. A team that for 38 years of my life I've been rooting for, and hope at some point they can turn the corner. That's more than one word.
Yeah.
That's the safe.
I think the word you're looking for is disappointment. IPFW.
Dangerous.
Dane Fife.
Competitor.
Dan Waterstrat.
Competitor, leader. He deserves more than one word. I'm really proud of Dan. I mean, he's a real energizer for our team, and someone that's done a lot for this program.
Keith Benson.
Improving.
Pat Caputo.
I've got stories on Pat. My dad actually coached baseball against Pat, so I'll tell Pat the word I've got on him is slugger.
Slugger?
Yeah, slugger.
Okay. Sade Washington.
Up-and-coming star in this profession.
Darren Sorensen.
Knowledgeable and very experienced, and works very well with our team.
Greg Campy.
Winner, friend, someone that's extremely loyal to Oakland and to his players and his coaches, and someone that I would love to see in his 25th year have a very successful season.
So that's all I got for you. Thanks for joining me, and check out Grizz Talk again next week. Thanks a lot.